Hi, welcome to Deep Recaps. Today's film is the 2017 Norwegian sci-fi thriller, Thelma. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie begins with a little girl named Thelma on a hunt with her father. Her father, Trond, aims at a deer, but then he turns the rifle on Thelma. However, Trond does not shoot. Many years later, Thelma is now studying at a university in Oslo, Norway. At night, she talks to her parents on the phone. Her mother, Uni, is disabled and needs a wheelchair. Uni is nitpicky about everything, including what Thelma is eating and what her classes are. So, Thelma makes up an excuse and cuts the phone call short. The next day, as Thelma is studying in the library, some birds begin flying full speed into the glass pane. Suddenly, Thelma herself has an epileptic seizure. She is taken to the medical station, where she says that she's never had this before. The doctor asks to conduct some tests for now. Thelma is still shocked at what happened. That night, a snake crawls across the lawn and enters someone's room. Later, as she's swimming, one of the girls who helped her during her seizure, Anya, checks up on her. Then, she sends Thelma a friend request. Thelma looks over Anya's seemingly happy life on the internet. Don't worry, Thelma, everyone's Facebook is bullshit. Sometime later, Thelma's parents come to visit her. They go out to dinner, where Thelma talks about how religion says that the Earth started 6,000 years ago. However, that is false. Fossils much older than that have been found. Her parents, who are extreme Christians, scold her. Thelma is challenging their blind belief with scientific and rational thinking. What an idiot. That night, Thelma apologizes to her father. She then says that she is lonely because she has no friends or a boyfriend. Trond reassures her that she is a good girl and they just need to know her. If I can refrain myself from blowing your head off with a rifle in the woods, surely a boy will take you out for ice cream. The next day, her parents leave. Later, Thelma sees a post by Anya in a bar. She has started to develop a crush on Anya, so she goes there. Anya recognizes her and invites her to her group. Everyone is amazed to see her drink only cola instead of chugging alcohol like any normal college student. Hearing that Thelma grew up in a strict Christian household, one of the boys starts to criticize the extremities of religion. So, Thelma defends God, but in a very intelligent and calm manner. Anya is impressed with her. Later, Thelma and Anya go dancing. They have a really good time together, but her parents call, so Thelma goes outside to answer. She lies about being out partying and says that she's doing grocery shopping. That's actually a really good excuse. Later, back at home, Thelma happily looks at a post by Anya, where she has been tagged as well. She goes to sleep, thinking about Anya. Suddenly, she wakes up in the middle of the night, sensing something strange. She goes to the window. There, she sees Anya, just standing on the street. Thelma goes down to meet her, but suddenly goes into another seizure. After she recovers, she invites Anya to her room. Because Thelma is alone, Anya offers to stay the night. Thelma is unable to sleep and spends the night staring at Anya. The next morning, Thelma asks why Anya was there last night. Even Anya is confused about that and cannot answer. She thinks that it must be because she was drunk. After this incident, Anya and Thelma start to become really good friends. One night, as they sit drinking some wine, Thelma narrates the story of how her father used to hold her hand above a candle to show her what hell is like all the time. Anya is shocked, but Thelma says that she does not hate her father. He's actually really nice. He's just completely insane. Anya then says that she's not close with her father because he's distant and has lots of other kids. Later, Anya shows Thelma how to smoke. Introducing her to addiction, the real hell. One day, Thelma goes to a theater with Anya and her mother. There, she learns that Anya broke up with her boyfriend and gently smiles. As the play goes on, Anya starts to caress Thelma's legs. Thelma starts breathing heavily with excitement. Her hand starts to shake, and she tries her best to control herself. Without anyone realizing it, the huge decoration on the ceiling begins to shake. Thelma is having the world's most powerful orgasm. Unable to control herself, Thelma rushes outside. She puts on her coat, but Anya comes to her and kisses her. Thelma is shocked, but kisses back. After making out for a while, Thelma gets nauseous and leaves, crying all the while. She goes to a wall and prays to God to remove these sinful thoughts from her head. She goes home and talks to her father, who senses that something is wrong. So, Thelma says that she's been drinking alcohol and apologizes. When her father hears this, he goes silent, but reassures her that it's okay to experience new things. Thelma cries, knowing that he wouldn't say that about kissing other girls. Thelma goes to church, but is unable to delve into the passion of Christ like everybody else. Instead, she starts enjoying her new college life. At one party, she finally meets up with Anya. Anya asks why Thelma has been avoiding her lately. Thelma makes up an excuse and leaves, avoiding her again. Later, they sit down to smoke weed, and even Thelma joins them. She gets high and starts to see strange things. She sees Anya next to her, and they kiss. As they make love, a snake wraps itself around Thelma and enters her mouth. Her friends shake her awake and say there was no weed inside, only tobacco. They were only playing a joke on Thelma. Thelma pukes on the floor. That was some strong placebo. Burning with embarrassment, she leaves. When she reaches home, she falls to her door, crying. The next day, she does a CT scan. The doctor says that she went through Thelma's medical history. Apparently, Thelma had a seizure when she was 6 years old and was put on drugs for an irregular sleep-wake cycle. Thelma never knew about this, despite her father being a medical practitioner. We then see Thelma in her childhood. She tries to spend time with her mother, but Uni is busy nursing the little baby. Thelma gets jealous of her brother. When he starts crying, she gets annoyed and closes her eyes. The crying suddenly stops. Her mother becomes furious and asks where she put him. Suddenly, her little brother starts crying from under the sofa. It's so heavy that both parents have to work together to get him out. In the present day, Thelma takes a test for epilepsy. When Anya calls, she ignores her. Her doctor asks her various things to find out what exactly triggers her seizures, but nothing about her past nor her present exam stresses seem to be the cause. When he asks about her lover, Thelma starts thinking about Anya. The doctors get a reaction out of this. Thelma starts panicking while thinking about Anya. Meanwhile, Anya is just chilling around in her apartment when her window suddenly breaks and she disappears. She ceases to exist just like that. At the hospital, Thelma has another seizure. After the tests are done, Thelma immediately calls Anya, but gets no response. She suddenly realizes that she's bleeding and starts panicking. Later, her doctor informs her that it's not epilepsy. She is suffering from non-epileptic seizures, which could be caused by repressed emotions. He says that her grandma had similar symptoms. Thelma says that her grandma died a long time ago, but the doctor says that her grandma was admitted to a hospital only a year ago. Thelma is shocked to hear that her grandma is still alive and realizes that her parents lied to her. That night, Thelma researches everything she can about non-epileptic seizures. Then, she looks up the hospital where her grandma is supposedly kept. Thelma goes to meet her grandma. Since her grandma was supposed to have died a long time ago, they have trouble recognizing each other. The nurse says that her grandma has delusions, and it all started the day grandma's husband disappeared. Grandma has been blaming herself since then, saying that she can cause strange things to happen. Thelma goes back to her college life, and Anya is still missing and won't pick up her phone. She even gets a message from Anya's mother, who hasn't been able to contact her either. That night, Thelma goes for a swim, but suddenly gets a seizure in the middle of the pool. She imagines herself in a dark space, and when she tries to swim out, her path is blocked. She swims the other way and gets out, barely avoiding drowning. Thelma goes to Anya's apartment, but finds it empty. She goes to the window and sees Anya's hair lodged in the smooth glass pane. She goes home and calls her mother, crying all the while and telling her that her friend disappeared. She wants to come back to her hometown, and her parents call her back. She apologizes for skipping her education and talks about her seizures. Her parents exchange a look when she says this. Thelma starts getting tired, and Trond reveals that they mixed something in her tea to calm her down. He then reveals that they know what's happening to her and will fix it. Back to the past, Uni is washing the baby when he disappears. Trond immediately goes to Thelma and asks where he is, but Thelma does not know anything about what just happened, so the two parents start looking around. Thelma walks outside in the snow and Trond follows. They find the baby under the lake, frozen to death. Trond helplessly beats the ice and cries. Uni is unable to bear what happened and jumps from a bridge, resulting in her disability. Back in the present, Trond gives Thelma some pills. After that, he tells Thelma that the incident which caused her brother's death was just her meeting God. Father and daughter pray to God together. After they are done, Trond asks her about the girl who disappeared. Thelma reveals that they were in love. Trond declines this, saying that Anya never really loved her. Thelma is in pain, and the candles in the house are blown out. That night, Trond gives the pills to Thelma again. Uni says that Thelma could go out of control again. Despite how much they love her, they need to do something about Thelma. Trond is conflicted between his love for Thelma and the safety of everyone around them. The next morning, he prepares a syringe and stores it. Next, he gives Thelma a bath, as if she is a little girl. Later, Uni intentionally breaks a cup, pretending it's an accident. When Thelma picks it up, she sees her mother staring at her, strangely. That night, Thelma says that she met her grandma and asks if Trond is doing the same thing to her. She then asks him to let her go, but he does not respond to either statement. He leaves, and Thelma hears him bolting the door from outside. Trond then goes to the lake and smokes. As he's about to return, he sees birds gathering above him. Suddenly, he sees a white figure on the bank. When he looks again, there's no one there. Just as suddenly, his hand starts to burn, and soon, his whole body catches fire. Trond, suddenly thinking that the hand over the candle wasn't so bad, starts panicking and falls into the lake. When he tries to get out, he bursts into flame again and falls back into the lake. Thelma wakes up. She goes to the lake and sees her father's empty boat at nearly the same location where her younger brother died. She sheds a tear and swims out into the lake. She swims down, deep, deep down into the dark space, and emerges in her college swimming pool. There, she is greeted by Anya. Phew, she must have just smoked fake weed again. They are so happy to see each other, and they kiss. We then see two birds rushing towards the window. But Thelma wakes up in the lake. She quickly scrambles out, coughing, and pukes up an entire bird. Back in her room, her phone starts to ring, with Anya calling. Thelma goes back to the house, while Uni keeps calling out for Trond. She sees Thelma looking at her phone, and asks what she did to her father. Thelma silently walks to her mother, holds her head and legs for a moment, and then leaves. Uni follows her and realizes that she can now walk. She happily gasps for breath while calling out to Thelma, but Thelma leaves her home, smiling. Back at her university, Thelma is sitting in the sun when Anya comes and kisses her. They hold hands and walk away. Thelma is an admittedly complex movie. It's a coming-of-age story, a lesbian romance, a religious allegory, all in addition to being a psychological horror film. It's about empowerment and agency. It also plays out like a superhero origin story, a superhero whose powers are no fun at all. Some assume that much of the film's plot actually took place in Thelma's imagination. Some read that the seizures she experiences are a form of demonic possession, but the prevailing theory behind Thelma's story is darker still. Many have deduced that Anya was never actually in love with Thelma, that Thelma was, in fact, controlling her from the beginning, making her break up with her boyfriend, making her arrive outside of her apartment window that night, making her touch her. It's more grounded than the thought of demonic possession, and it's downright horrifying. If you found this recap interesting, I highly recommend renting the full movie. The haunting atmosphere and gorgeous cinematography make it a story you won't soon forget. See you next time.